Hi everybody, it's Chris from Haunted Earth bringing you yet another monthly roundup of past investigations, suggestions from you the viewers, and future ideas and developments. Quite an interesting proposition to put to you, so if you could stay tuned at the end of this video and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Firstly, let's deal with past investigations, and we've had three. One of which you recall in July. We were called late one night to a very actively haunted public house located on the Essex coast. I can't actually give you the location of these premises for obvious reasons, but what was reported to us was that a poltergeist spirit had turned on a number of taps causing rooms to flood. A book had been thrown at a member of staff and footsteps had been heard in otherwise empty rooms. So we were quite excited when we arrived there, as you can imagine. As we walked through, you could feel the energy that existed there. It was so strong, it was so tense, and you could physically feel it as you walked through it. Our first initial investigation revealed a little bit of orb activity, and certainly what was interesting was on the roundup at the end of the video where you saw an orb continuously spinning around myself and Rudy, who is the other group medium. Second visit was perhaps a little bit more interesting because on this occasion I was armed with remote wireless camcorders, one of which was placed in a bedroom which we felt to be the core area of the activity. Now, in that particular bedroom, we recorded a very unusual anomaly which emerged from behind a curtain, travelled across the wall by a bed, returned back behind the curtain, and then came out for a second time. Now, as per usual, those that are just bored and haven't much better to do just flick through these videos without actually examining it in depth and leave what I would call a knee-jerk reaction. And on this occasion a number of people have accused me of using a flashlight. Well, as most of us are aware, a flashlight, if you aim it at any particular object, is always on the surface, and it certainly cannot travel behind an object as it did in this case. And admittedly, when I looked at the video clip, it did look like that, and had that light not travelled from behind the curtain, I would have discarded it, because our intention is to produce material which people will trust and people will believe in, or if not, it will at least guide them towards the possibility of an existence beyond this life. And yes, I'm aware that on YouTube there is a lot of hoax and forged activity. Some of it is very, very bad and some of it is very, very clever. But what we record is what we show you, and we ask for you to support us. And what is pleasing is the fact that we are now over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which for a paranormal group is quite a record. I haven't actually found similar examples elsewhere on YouTube. If there are, please tell me. But anyway, back to the investigation. We returned on the third occasion, and that was really weird. And what was weird was the fact that we recorded hardly anything because our camcorder batteries were drained and the remote wireless cameras refused to work. We just could not get them to work. And what was particularly interesting was that whilst we were setting up, we could actually hear whispering above us. Very, very quiet, but never clear enough to work out what was being said. It was a man's voice, and it was a very, very light whispery sound that we heard. That was particularly weird. On this particular visit, we decided that enough was enough, and we actually cleared the building of the spirit, and to date there has not been any reports of similar occurrences there. Moving on from there, you'll notice that I put a video clip up of a daytime visit to a haunted airfield. The premise behind that was to show that you can record all activity during the daytime, albeit this was within a bunker which was within perpetual darkness 24 hours a day. But even so, it was to provide a point of reference to our activities there, because I actually took you out and around the buildings, which gave you some idea of what the location looks like during the day. I also included a number of bits and pieces, one of which was a video clip of what we call the ghost tube. and that was 2 cones of light with a central core area of pulsating light, which reacted very positively to my presence when I first encountered it. If I moved to the left, it would move to the right, and so on and so forth. That was also our first encounter with a spirit that we refer to as Roger. Now Roger, as far as we're aware, was a tramp, or a vagrant as you call them in America, who lived there with a number of other vagrants after the war when the airfield was disused. During that period, a number of people died there of natural causes, and Rog was one of them. But Rog had his fair share of troubles in real life, and we believe he was disturbed by the events which took place in World War II, and that had some effects on his mind. And they say that people that were mentally ill in lifetime can produce some interesting phenomena in death. In Roger's case, there is no exception to that, because we've seen on one occasion a shadow of a cat walking across the ceiling in the bunker. We've had the 2 good EVP clips from him, and loads of strange misty photographs which we call electroplasmic. Now, apart from that, Rog is not what I would consider to be a harmful spirit, perhaps a bit of a mischievous spirit, to say the very least, because on a number of occurrences of investigations there, we've seen what looks like a bat but isn't a bat, and it certainly isn't a bird, because it flies in total darkness. And the events that were recorded on the nighttime investigation there clearly show this. I've actually sent the clip to a number of ornithologists and bat experts to garner their opinion. So far, the responses that I've received are that this is neither a bat nor is it a bird, and it cannot be logically explained. Now, a lot of you have written to me and said they're fed up watching orb activity. Well, here is something which is quite different, and yet it looks very real. So I hope that we can follow this particular line of inquiry further, and hopefully get some decent photographs or video the next time we encounter it in more close-up detail for you. You'll also notice on that nighttime vigil at the airfield, we also captured from a locked-off camcorder a cloud of mist which drifted past very quickly between the camera and us. Now, I've received one suggestion that it's a cloud of dust. Well, had that been the case, I would have experienced that cloud of dust on innumerable occasions that we've been there. But I haven't, and it cannot be explained, and that's why it's included. And lastly, back to this house and back to the master bedroom, one very, very interesting clip there, which was the tube of light which emerged at speed from beneath a storage cupboard door, raced across the carpet, paused twice momentarily, and appeared to be looking directly towards me, and eventually made a direct beeline towards me and disappeared from the camera. Now, initially I honestly thought that it was an insect, but when the video was slowed down, it was quite apparent that it wasn't. And even to this day, I cannot explain it. But it's the kind of activity which we want to present to you, the YouTube viewer. And no doubt I will continue with that. We do receive a lot of thanks from you, the YouTube viewers, but we also receive quite a bit of criticism from certain quarters. But the point is, we have gone the extra distance to try and show you, the YouTube viewer, that there is something there that cannot be explained, that cannot be dismissed. Why is it that there is an army of people whose sole intention in life is to go around suppressing this information is quite beyond me. Either they're doing it through religious bigotry, or whether they're doing it because of their own political or personal beliefs, I don't know. But if you're a skeptic and you're unsure about this kind of activity, then I suggest you do what I did years ago, and that is to go out there and experience it for yourself, and not sit at home on a computer condemning other people's work. Yes, there is a lot of hoax material on YouTube. There's some dreadful material on there, and there's some very, very professionally expedited material which I've seen and reviewed, and a couple of bits have actually confused me in the early stages. Only close analysis actually shows that it is a hoax. We try and maintain a standard, and we hope to think that we are a beacon of light on YouTube, in as much that our footage is regarded to be open and honest and frank. We don't forge any activity. If we were in that particular game, don't you think that we would have far more spectacular activity on camera than what we've got at the moment? And that simply is the answer to that, is that we don't do that. So anyway, thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope you've enjoyed all of our presentations, and I look very much forward to hearing from you in future ones. Thank you very much.